Tell me you went to a really toxic high school without telling me you went to a really toxic high school.
So I went to the bathroom in the middle of physics class. I go in and I see this girl and she's really not doing well. She looks nauseous. I say, "Are you okay?" She says, "No, I'm fine. I'm just gonna like chill in here for a while." I said, "Okay." So I left and then I thought about her and I was like, "Oh my God, I need to go back there." So I go back and I see all these girls from my high school pointing and laughing at her, and she's frothing at the mouth, literally having an OD reaction to something. I pick this girl up, I carry her to the nurse's office, and I'm like, "Nurse, what do I do? Like, do we call 911? Like, I had no idea. I was in shock. And the nurse was like, "Yasmin, don't waste your time on people that aren't worth it." And I was like, what?
Story time. As I've mentioned about like 50 times now, I used to go to private school before I went to high school. And private schools can get away with pretty much anything. We had this thing called the late bus, and it would take you home if you stayed late for after school activities or something. And to get to and from our school, you have to go up this very steep, windy, narrow road. And so they had this bus driver that everybody loved. He was a really nice guy. He was just one of those people who didn't know when to not do something or like personal boundaries. So every time we would go home, he would brake really hard and then start swerving and be like, "Ah, we're crashing." And everybody thought it was really funny. He would also do it on the highway. This one time I fell out of my seat and I smashed my face on the floor of the bus. And I went home and I told my dad, and he was so furious, and he called the school, and I got the man in trouble, and I didn't mean to get him in trouble. But then the next day, everybody on the bus was like, "Hey, can you pretend we're crashing?" And he was like, "No, I can't do that anymore." I felt so bad. Like, should I feel bad though?
This is why you should never eat tasty cakes, and why I can't ever look at a coffee cake the same. So a couple years ago, my dad went to my uncle's house to come visit, but he was super hungry. He asked my uncle if he had any snacks. My uncle, of course, said yes. Then my dad went to his kitchen and saw that he had tasty cake coffee cakes. Boy, he was excited because my dad loves sweets. He went to go sit down to watch the game with my uncle, but when he took a bite of the cake, he said it tasted really moist. He ate half of it, then noticed that some of the crumbs on the tasty cake disappeared. When he took a better look at the cake, he realized that the tasty cake crumbs were maggots.
I made my teacher cry. Story time. When I was in second grade, I had this teacher and she was the devil. And the reason I call her a devil is because she would say really mean things to me to my face. She would be like, "Ty, stop talking like that. You sound like a little girl." Or, "Your favorite color can't be pink. You have to choose one of the boy colors." And since I was so young, I didn't understand how serious these things were, and I didn't know I can get her in trouble. And I would go home sad like every single day. Eventually, my mom noticed and she asked me what was wrong. So I told her some of the things that Miss Jackson would say to me, and my mom was mad. And my mom was like, "The next time she says something to you, say something rude back, and if you get in trouble, I'll handle her from there." So I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." Now, Miss Jackson was a heavy lady, so I knew if I said something rude to her, it would be about her weight. Though we don't body shame around here. We don't do that, okay? So I'm in school eating lunch with my friends who happen to be girls, and Miss Jackson comes up to me and she's like, "Shouldn't you be eating with the boys?" So I looked at her and I was like, "Shouldn't you be eating a salad?" And the lunchroom started laughing, and then she started crying.
Fake friend story time. So this girl and I became friends instantly. We completed each other's sentences. We hung out all the time and everything was great. Then I noticed she started copying me and stealing my ideas, but I ignored it because I cared about her as a person. Then I asked her to be a bridesmaid in my wedding. She said yes and lied to me a week before the wedding, saying that her hotel and flight were booked. Right before the wedding, she calls me and says she can't make it because she can't afford it. I offered to pay for everything, her flights, hotel, everything. All she needed to do was come. She refused. So we had 5 bridesmaids, 6 groomsmen, and I just tried to move on. And she acted like nothing happened. She never reached out to apologize. She only apologized when she ran into me at a party because it was awkward. Long story short, I tried to be friends with her, but she has consistently shown how self-absorbed and pretentious she is. So I want nothing to do with her. Like this video if you want more story times.
My best friend was toxic. Story time. Growing up, I had this best friend who we're gonna name Keisha. And since my mom died when I was a baby, Keisha's mom kind of stepped up and became a motherly figure to me. And even though I appreciated it, I don't think Keisha did. Because she would always make these rude comments like, "She's not your real mom," or "She doesn't love you as much as she loves me because I'm her actual daughter." And it really bothered me, but I chose to ignore it because I loved Keisha's mom like my own mom. So this one time on Mother's Day, I was at Keisha's house hanging out with her and her mom. And Keisha had this really bad attitude just because I was there. Her attitude was so bad that I didn't even want to be there. So eventually I asked if I could go home, but Keisha's mom said I didn't have to and not to let Keisha's attitude ruin our day. And when her mom said that, it really set her off. And she said something that I would never forgive her for. Keisha turns to me and opens up her disgusting mouth to say, "Your mother is dead. You should be spending Mother's Day at a cemetery."
So I had a friend that we can call Miranda who was obsessed with me. I was genuinely friends with her, but she would never give me a break. I could not get a breather from her at any point in time. Everywhere I went, she went. And Miss Girl would actually get so upset with me anytime I would go over to another friend's house. I knew she was really insecure and just trying to get attention, so I tried to be patient with her. However, one day I just could not take it anymore. I got into a massive fight with her over how overprotective she is. I literally said, "You are a stage 5 clinger." And in response, this girl ended up joining my basketball and softball team, which I've been on for forever. She told her mom that I was bullying her, which was a complete lie, but then her mom went to the coaches. She got me kicked off the team and then continued to spread rumors about me. I ended up losing my best friends and even my boyfriend over the rumors that she spread about me. So that's when I decided to get revenge. So I decided that I was going to send her over an apology gift with makeup in it, which was a mix of drugstore items and poison ivy. So I got revenge on my obsessive best friend for spreading rumors about me. So I put together an apology gift for her for bullying her, even though I did not. The gift that I put together was some makeup I got from Walgreens, but I decided to add some poison ivy to the eyeshadow so that she would get a rash. I then set up a hidden camera and watched as she put it on. And as expected, the rash started to form. After she noticed, I started to tell her off and accuse her of all the stuff she did to me. And she was so pissed that I managed to get a confession out of her. She was very much just like, "Yeah, I did that." Literally over me not wanting to spend every waking second with her. And the best part of it is that she threatened me on camera. So I cut out the part about the poison makeup and told her if she didn't tell all my friends, coaches, and significant other what she was doing, I would send the video to everyone. So she admitted to all of her crimes and I got back on the team. I got my friends back and my boyfriend apologized. I ended up totally fine and she ended up losing credibility with basically everyone. If any of you guys have a story you'd like me to share on my TikTok, follow my Instagram and I'll show you how.